Hello and welcome to this AGD tutorial. This tutorial covers version 3.0. Although there is a new one due for release, this should cover most of the points you will need. This is not going to be like the Spectrum show. There's going to be no script, and I've only got a rough idea of the game I'm going to produce, so anything can happen. This is part one of many parts, and in this section we're going to cover the emulator. We're going to cover setting up the screen size, setting up control keys, and the character set editor. The first thing to do is get your emulator running. I'm using Spectaculator. You could use anything. The most important thing though is to make sure that it is set to standard 1 to 8 mode, not +2, +2A or +3, just standard 1 to 8. That's what AGD has been written to use, so that's what we'll have. I've already got a tape set up and ready, so let's go ahead and load AGD. Here we go. This is the menu. At first it looks quite daunting, all these options. I'm not going to run through these in the order that they are on screen. I'm going to run through them in the order that you would to create a game, which is quite different. Top left you've got the version number, top right the amount of memory you have available for your game. Obviously you haven't got the full 48K because the AGD's editor is sat there, taking up some space, but that's quite adequate to create some good games. Okay, so let's get on with the first thing that you're probably looking to do. The character set is the font that you can use within your game. You don't have to set it here. You can set it in your loader somewhere when you're loading your game, but now that it's included in AGD, it's a lot better and a lot easier to use. From the menu you press A, and this will show you the standard Spectrum character set. You can move through the letters individually by pressing N or P for next and previous, and if you want to edit one you just select the letter, use the cursor keys to move the little cross up and down, and space to add or remove blocks. Like I say, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this particular section because it's not something that's important to the game engine itself. This is just something that you might want to do, so we'll leave it at that. From most sections within AGD you can get back to the main menu by pressing enter, which will take you straight back. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is the actual game screen, the screen that will be used to display your game. To get access to this you press W, which goes into the window area down here. So pressing W will show you a red and black checkboard. This represents the area on screen where your game will be. This game that I'm going to create in this tutorial is not going to use that particular size, so what I'm going to do is use the 1 and 2 keys to make it larger and smaller, and the Q and A keys to make it taller or not. You can also use the cursor keys to move this around the screen. So what I'm going to do is set it to something like that. This will allow for the main action of the game to take place in the red and black check area, and the area underneath is going to be used for scores and lives. So now that's done, we press enter and it will ask you if you want to erase screens. It's very important that this stage is done first, because if you create a screen that's not the right size, you can then go and add blocks and sprites to it, and then you decide you want to change the screen size, it will erase all of that work. So this is why it's important to do this first. So make sure you know the type of game that you're going to do, because obviously different screen sizes suit better games. This is going to be a platform game, so I think this screen size is right, so I shall say yes to that, and then back to the editor again. Okay, next thing we need to set up for the game is control keys, the keys we're going to use to control the player. Because it's a platform game, we're going to use 3 keys only. That'll be Q, W and space. That'll be left, right and jump. So to set the keys in AGD we go to the key section by pressing K, and this will guide you through the keys that you want. So for this I'm going to press W for right, Q for left, Nothing for down. Well, you have to press something, so it doesn't matter what you press, as long as it's not one of the other keys you've chosen. Nothing for up. And for fire, I'm going to press space. That's going to be our jump key. You have two other key options, and you can just press anything you like for these because we're not going to use them. Once you've set the keys up, you are taken back to the editor, ready to start building your game. We shall cover that in part 2.